Hey YouTube, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Very short video as an addition to my long shock test video for the Rock Hobby Katana and the EazyRC Patrion or Patriot. The Patrion or Patriot does come with much nicer shocks than the Katana. Those ones much larger, no screws, but a cap to screw, and so it's quite easy to make an oil-filled shock mod. For more details, check my mini C4x4 oil shock mod video, and to see more different shocks in those two trucks, see my long and detailed shock test video for the Rock Hobby Katana and EazyRC Patriot. You'll find the links in the description. And now I will show you how to do this. So what we will need for this mod, for disassembling the shocks, we'll need a 2mm hex driver. They take 2mm. Those screws do have a diameter of the stand of 2.5mm. So we need O-rings with 2.5mm diameter. Don't ask me where I got those from. What else do we need? Probably the most difficult part, glue that glues silicone. So most CAs and Shugu and Tamiya plastic glue, they do not glue silicone at all. Check my mini C shock mod video where I explained this in more detail. I use the super cheap Toolcraft Sekundenkleber Robheat 100. That's from European, German, Austrian, Switzerland, Conrad company. Then a little bit of silicone O-ring grease or any grease to grease the O-rings, and plumber's tape to seal the caps. Maybe it would even work without plumber's tape. So those caps are screwed and really nice. And of course, shock oil. I will take this green 500 Tamiya oil and a little bit of alcohol and some cotton buds or whatever to clean the plastic before gluing. And 4M 2.5mm screws can come really handy because you can press the O-rings before gluing on those. They will not squeeze the O-rings that far outside than the original screws with 2.5mm. Of course you could also use those, but after drying next day it's much easier to get those screws out. If there should be some glue between screw and O-ring, then those rods, which are smooth and can only be pulled out, and maybe the bond can break. So I recommend to use 2.5mm screws for this, and as heavy as possible also helps during dry. So first let's clean the plastic and let's prepare the O-rings with the M2.5 screws. Let's check the alcohol still there. Let's wait a little bit. A loop can come really handy maybe And now let's prepare the O-rings with glue. Press it on and let it dry best overnight. And now let's dry them overnight and let's check the bond tomorrow. Next day, dry. And let's check how this comes out. Seems to sit firmly. All good, hopefully. A little bit of silicone grease. O-ring grease. Nice and smooth and hopefully well sealed. I try the 500 green Tamiya. We'll see how this turns out. No air inside anymore. Don't know if this plumber's tape is really necessary for sealing. Oil shock. And here we go. 4 nice oil-filled shocks. Quite a mess filling shocks with oil. Even more mess filling tiny shocks with oil. So let's test them, since my Patriot is in the status of modification now. I will test the shocks on the Rock Hobby Katana, on this one. The same truck, more or less, same body. And let's see how those shocks do. So the Katana with the Patriot oil-filled shocks. Fit perfectly as the stock shocks do. Do you see this? No bouncing anymore. Nice, isn't it? For more details and more shock tests, see my detailed shock test video for the Katana and the Patriot. And for a more detailed description how to make such oil-filled shocks, see my Mini C 4x4 oil-filled shock mods video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. I'll be back.